तत्सर्वं न समाचक्ष्व दृष्टो यत्किह किञ्चन
तत्सर्वं न समाचक्ष्व दृष्टो यदि किञ्चन मन्ये त्वां विषयवाचां सनातं मन्यते चान्दसा
तत्सर्वं न समाचक्ष्व दृष्टो यदिह किञ्चन मन्ये त्वां विषये वाचां स्नातं मन्यत्र छान्दसा
Anyone else? Try. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada. We know that you are expert in the meaning of all subjects except some portions of the Vedas, and thus you can clearly explain the answers to all the questions we have just put to you. Purport. The difference between the Vedas and the Puranas is like that between the Brahmanas and the Parivrajakacha. The Brahmanas are meant to administer some fruitive sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas, but the Parivrajakacharyas, or learned preachers, are meant to disseminate transcendental knowledge to one and all. As such, the Parivrajakacharyas are not always expert in pronouncing the Vedic mantras, which are practiced systematically by accent and meter by the Brahmanas, who are meant for administrating Vedic rites. Yet, it should not be considered that Brahmanas are more important than the itinerant preachers. They are one and different simultaneously because they are meant for the same end in different ways. There is no difference also between the Vedic mantras and what is explained in the Puranas and Itihasas. According to Sri Jiva Goswami, it is mentioned in the Madhyanidina Shruti that all the Vedas, namely Sama, Atharva, Rug, Yajur, Puranas, Itihasas, Upanishads, etc., are emanations from the breathing of the Supreme Being. The only difference is that Vedic mantras are mostly begun with Pranam Omkara, and it requires some training to practice the metric pronunciation of the Vedic mantras. But that does not mean that Srimad Bhagvatam is of less importance than the Vedic mantras. On the contrary, it is the ripened fruit of all the Vedas, as stated before. Besides that, the most perfectly liberated soul, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, is absorbed in the studies of the Bhagavatam, although he is already self-realized. Srila Sutta Goswami is following his footsteps, and therefore his position is not the less important because he was not expert in chanting Vedic mantras with metric pronunciation, which depends more on practice than actual realization. Realization is more important than parrot-like chanting. Sutavacha Dvapare Samanun Prapte Tritiye Yugaparaye Jataha Parasharad Yogi Vasavyam kalaya hare. Suta Goswami said, when the second millennium overlapped the third, the great sage was born to Parasara in the womb of Satyavati, the daughter of Vasu. There is a chronological order of the four millenniums, namely Satya, Dwapara, Treta and Kali. But sometimes there is overlapping. During the regime of Vyavasvat Manu, there was an overlapping of the 28th round of the four millenniums, and the third millennium appeared prior to the second. In that particular millennium, Lord Krishna also descends, and because of this, there was some particular alteration. The mother of the great sage was Satyavati, the daughter of the Vasu, fisherman, and the father was the great Parasara Muni. That is the history of Vyasadeva's birth. Every millennium is divided into 3 periods, and each period is called a Sandhya. Vyasadeva appeared in the third Sandhya of that particular age. Sa kadachit saraswatya upasprushya jalam shuchihi vivikta eka ashina udite ravi mandale. Once upon a time, he, Vyasadeva, as the sun rose, took his morning ablution in the waters of the Saraswati and sat alone to concentrate. The river Saraswati is flowing in the Badrikashram area of the Himalayas. So the place indicated here is Samyaprasha in Badrikashrama, where Srila Vyasadeva is residing. Om Ajnanatimrindasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada made a very interesting analysis in this shloka. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, क्या हुआ? नीचे लेना पड़ेगा. Basement. Prasadam. Prasadam in Mandapam hall. What time? But glorification? Prasadam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Bharat Bhumi Teha Manushya Janmayar Janma Sarthagati Kare Paro para upakar, karo para upakar. We are all very, very fortunate to take birth in Bharatvarsh, especially in the millennium where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Right? Where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. In fifth canto Bhagavatam, there is a chapter after the chapter of Jambudvipa, residents of Jambudvipa offered prayers. That chapter, after that, the demigods are praising one who has taken birth in Bharatvarsha. Because most of the times the Lord appears in Bharatvarsha. Whenever the Lord appears, he gives pravachan. Right? He gives pravachan. Then he performs wonderful pastimes. Right? Especially Prabhupada writes, in this millennium, Dwapar Yuga appeared later, Treta Yuga appeared first, because Krishna has to appear. Right? The teachings of Krishna, especially Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and also teachings of Krishna to Uddhava at the end of his incarnation, avatar. They are very, very prominent, like that. Then he also performed very wonderful pastimes. Yesterday I was reading Prabhupada lectures. Prabhupada told one very interesting thing, that Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tattvataha Tyaktva Deham Punarjanma Naitima Maiti Sarjana. On the verse, 4th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada is speaking. He told one very wonderful thing. You will be very happy to know. Prabhupada writes that anybody who starts reading Krishna book, Krishna becomes pleased with that devotee. Right? Please read Krishna book every day. Oh, this boy is trying to understand me. Krishna thinks, it seems. Then he reveals himself. Yeah, please read Krishna book. I was busy a little bit. I was reading Ramayana a lot nowadays. So I didn't read Krishna book for almost a month. So yesterday again I started. थोड़ा gap आ गया था. Of course, every day I read Krishna book, Krishna's pastimes. Like I was reading. I have to read, or either I read or I meditate. Leela Smaran I do, Krishna's pastime every day. I was reading Dinabandhu Prabhu's Krishna Leela, part 2. Part 1 is there? Anybody has? Give me. It's available in the shop. Other day was giving class and then he announced, and then I sent somebody and purchased that book. Part 1 I had to get. Anyway, very nice, beautiful pastimes he was narrating, like that. So it is Krishna's pastimes. Please read Krishna book. Prabhupada actually is saying like that. So we have to understand. So we are very, very fortunate that we have taken birth in India. Then somebody asked in America. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, how many devotees are there in India? Then Srila Prabhupada asked, what is the population of India? That time I think 60 or 70 crores. Prabhupada said 70 crores. Yeah? Everybody who has taken birth in India is a devotee of Krishna, because only by the mercy of Krishna we take birth in India. Right? Somebody chanting or what? Like Mahaprabhu says that a living entity actually he forgets Krishna. Krishna bullies. Right? We are a living entity forgets Krishna and comes to this material world. Right? We have to, in order to enjoy, in order to enjoy in this material world, one thing is required. You know what? One thing is required in order to enjoy in this material world. Srinivas, you want to enjoy in this material world? Huh? Huh? You have to forget that I am an eternal servant of Krishna. Right? I have to, that is the forgetfulness. That I need to forget that I am an eternal servant of Krishna. If I remember I am an eternal servant of Krishna, I cannot enjoy. Right? So that is what devotees, we are, na garka na gatka, we neither can enjoy material sense enjoyment. If by any chance if we watch something and all, then we have guilty conscience, I am wasting my time. Kya kar raha hu main? What am I doing? Then I don't have full love of Krishna also. Like that. So it is. We have to forget Krishna. So in order to, then we have forgotten Krishna. Krishna bullies. Then we experience samsara dukkha. Right? Samsara dukkha. Then Krishna appears, and then out of his causeless mercy, one thing he does. You know what is that? Krishna's, evam swachitte swata eva siddha atma priyarto bhagavan anantaha tam nivrito niyatarto bhajeta samsar hetu paramam shayatra. Bolo, where from this shloka? Huh? Bhakti Vaibhav. Huh? This is from second canto, second chapter. Evam swachitte swatayeva siddha atma priyartho bhagavan anantaha. Because Atma is very dear to Krishna. He comes, to associate with us, to accompany us, along with us in this as super soul. Right? He is constantly reminding us. That is his mercy. That he comes to along with us. He comes and stays with us throughout. He never leaves. Right? He never leaves. We have in the material world, we have so-called friends. Right? The so-called friends, suppose if somebody goes to jail, that friend can come up to the gate of the jail, but he cannot come inside. But Krishna is our dearmost friend. He comes with us in the jail also. Right? In the jail also. Then Krishna comes in the form of Archa Vigraha. Right? Comes in the form of Archa Vigraha. सब लोग आराम से आते हैं. इलेक्शन इसलिए जल्दी निकलना चाहिए. किधर है संतोष? हाँ, पार्किंग नहीं है. So this Archa Vigraha is not different from Krishna. Right? Every day we take darshan of Krishna. Right? Anybody knows my favorite verse? Third canto, 25th chapter. Pashyandite me ruchirani ambasanta prasanna vaktra arnalochanani Rupani divyani varapradani sakam vacham smruni vadanti tad darshaner avyavair udara vilasahase vamasukte hritatmanah pranamscha bhakti anichchato me gatimanvim prayukte. Beautiful verses. 3rd canto, 25th chapter. My devotees, Lord Krishna is saying, Lord Kapila is saying, my devotees, they enjoy Pashyanti teme ruchirani ambasanta. They enjoy having darshan of my deity. Prasanna vaktra arunalochanani. Prabhupada says, we should always visualize Krishna looking at us with favorably, with pleasing glances. Krishna is never angry with his devotees. He was looking at us, Prasanna Vaktra, Arunalochanani, and his eyes are like rising sun, reddish like rising sun. Right? Rupani Divyani Varapradani. My forms are transcendental and they give benedictions. And my devotees, they give, they speak to me. They consider me as their friend, Sakam Vacham. They speak to me. They don't, if they have any desires, they tell me. Right? Tad darshanair avyavair udara. Prabhupada writes in the purport that anybody who comes in front of the deity and stands and looks at the deity, and then Krishna also looks at his devotee. Right? And then Prabhupada writes, without the knowledge of the devotee, imperceptibly he becomes liberated. How many of you know what is the meaning of Arati? All of you are attending Arati, right? Mangala Arati, Guru Puja, Sandhya Arati. Vijay ji, you know what is the meant by Arati? What is the significance of attending Arati? Anybody knows? Vaikuntha Ishwari, she will tell. Every day she does Arati. Every day you are coming, right? Bolo? Each element, we are covered by 8 elements, right? Bhumirapo, Analo Vayu, Kamano Buddhirevacha, Ahankaramiti Yamme, Binna Prakriti Ashtada. Atma is there. Atma is covered by 8 elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego, and then another element is there, contaminated consciousness. So these 8 elements are there. So just like when we offer agarbatti, right? Agarbatti represents earth element, fragrance, right? And then water, and then lamp, fire element, right? And then when we blow the conch, the sound element, right? Then earth, water, fire, air, then this chamar and all, air, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Ether is conch, and then mind, intelligence, and false ego. Mind, we chant, we chant mantras, right? We should remember mantras and we should think about Krishna's pastimes or Krishna while doing Aarti. Then we should use our intelligence to arrange all the paraphernalia and all this, do it expertly, right? And then false ego, when we offer obeisances, our false ego is before offering Aarti, we offer obeisances. So like this, every day by having darshan of the Lord, doing Aarti, and while doing, and then when we perform Aarti, right, slowly, soul becomes uncovered with these 8 elements. right? When we offer lamp, offer agarbatti, we are offering bhumi element to Krishna, right? When we offer a lamp, we are offering fire element to Krishna. Like that, in our body we have all these elements. Then all, where the soul becomes uncovered by this otherwise soul is covered with these 8 elements. So uncovered. So that is why Prabhupada writes in the purport, in that verse, 3rd canto, 25th chapter, when a devotee comes in front of the deity and have darshan, without his knowledge, he becomes liberated. He is more fortunate than a person who is doing tapasya in Himalayas. Right? I was watching some video. There is huge rush in Kedarnath. It is snow is falling and it's raining, and there is a huge rush. Have you seen?
They opened, the gates have opened.
Yeah, huge rush. And then there are so many people. They it's feeling cold or what?
Cold.
Huh?
It will be cold in night.
मैंने ये ट्रिप बनाए कि नहीं आप हाउ कम यार हाँ, यू शुड बी इन बद्रीनाथ ना हाँ
Strike is going right.
हाँ
Kedarnath strike is going.
क्या going?
Strike is going.
Strike?
Yes.
Why?
They did something, so I think today, tomorrow, the strike is going.
उसका चक्र है पैरों में चक्र है उसका हाँ? मेरा चक्र तो टूट गया हाँ वही so we are very, very fortunate that Prabhupada gave us these deities. Otherwise, what? No. Once in a while we used to go to the temple, right? Right? Once in a while. But now, all of you come regularly. Then I am living in the temple. So that is a great fortune. And then Archa Vigraha, and then Super Soul, Archa Vigraha, and then Krishna gives us, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, right? Godavari. Right? What is the significance of Ganga? Anybody can say? क्या म्यूजिक चल रहा है? मंडपम हॉल? हाँ? Okay. What is the significance of Ganga? Pawarji, bolo. Huh? The significance of Ganga, it is given in some Puranas that every day, you can take bath in Ganga, living in your house. Every day. That is the significance. Of course, if you can go to Allahabad and take bath in Triveni Sangam, it is great. But otherwise also, sitting at home, you can take bath in Ganga simply by chanting 7 times. While taking bath, you chant Ganga, 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 Ganga 7 times. Then you have taken bath in Ganga. You can actually, all of you, should get trained. Chant. Remember these 2-3 mantras. Perfect. Om apavitrova, pavitrova, sarvastikatopiva, yasmarit pundrikaksham, sabayantri suchi, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. And then Gangecha Yamuna Chaiva, Godavari Saraswati, Narmada Sindhu Kaveri, Jalausmin, Sanidam Guru. These 2 mantras everybody should understand. So you can take a few drops of water and look into that water and chant this mantra, Gangecha Yamuna Chaiva, and then put on your head. Then you have taken bath in Ganga. Or you can just imagine that you have, sometimes I imagine, Gone to Mayapur and taken bath in. I never take. I'm not so scared of water, but I take bath mentally every day. Take a dip. क्या जाता है? Huh? So you can take bath in Ganga. Once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking sannyas, he was walking, and then I want to give up my body because I didn't hear the holy name 3 days. Then suddenly, some boys started, he heard some boys chanting Hare Krishna. Mahaprabhu asked, is Ganga nearby? They said, yeah, nearby only. Then Mahaprabhu went and took bath in Ganga, and then before taking bath in Ganga, he offered prayers to Ganga. And then Ganga became ashamed. Arey, mera Swami mere ko prayers offer kar rahi hai. Then she came and, what are you doing? Like that. So, Mahaprabhu says in one of the prayers that anybody who lives near Ganga, they automatically chant the holy names of Krishna. Right? That is like that. So, Ganga, Prabhupada writes, I think in Navadvip Mahatmya it is mentioned, Ganga is 1,000 times more powerful in Gangotri than Yamuna. Then Yamuna is 1,000 times more powerful than Ganga in Vrindavan because Krishna takes bath. Then Ganga went and cried in front of Krishna, ऐसा ऐसा मेरा भाग्य खराब है, मेरा किस्मत फूटी किस्मत है, ऐसा बोलते हैं, फूटी किस्मत. क्या हो गया? अरे देखो, Yamuna is so glorified, Krishna has taken bath. Then Mahaprabhu said, Krishna said, don't worry, when I take incarnation as Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I will play in your waters. So it is mentioned, Ganga in Mayapur is 1,000 times more powerful than Yamuna in Vrindavan. Right? So when next time when you go to Mayapur, please take bath in Ganga. While going to Mayapur, there is a place, Panihati. Right? Our temple is there. You can take bath there. They have very nice ghat and all that. And then take bath and change your clothes and take, prasadam. Usually we are doing that, right? Like that. This time, when the taxi driver suggested, there is a shortcut. If you pay around 200 rupees extra, we can cross Ganga. Like that. You have gone anytime? Next time you try. Instead of traveling all the way by car, there is one place. Then you take a car, and then along with the car, they take you in the boat. And then you cross the Ganga. So as soon as before entering Mayapur, we got darshan of Ganga. Like that. And then, most importantly, Krishna gave Purana Vedas, right? Puranas, Itihasas, and then Mahabharata, Ramayana, and then Bhagavad Gita, and then finally Srimad Bhagvatam. So, we have forgotten Krishna, and then we came here, and then we are having threefold miseries. Bolo, Srinivas, what are the threefold miseries? You know? No. Threefold miseries, tapatraya. Please, everybody should know this threefold miseries. Huh? You know? You know, Nidhi? Threefold miseries. Vijay, you know? Threefold miseries. We are all suffering. Suppose if Modi ji comes and tells, please vote for me, I will make you free from threefold miseries. He cannot do that. Right? Threefold miseries? Threefold miseries means suffering due to the body and the mind, that is adhyatmika klesha, and then suffering due to the other living entities, that is adi bhautik klesha. Right? We have all this experience, right? All the time we have either suffering, since afternoon I was having back pain. So I was just lying down. So all the time some problem, right? Some back pain or knee pains or some sugar ज़्यादा है, all the time, There is one doctor who says that 70% of the diseases, they belong to ladies. You know that? In some survey, one doctor only was saying. All the time, some problem or the other. So that is suffering. When there is no physical disease, then there is mind is disturbed. Right? Nowadays, there is so much mental problems. There is one Harish Shetty or somebody, some psychiatrist, right? He's saying अभी ये काउंसलर का पागल डॉक्टर्स का ज़्यादा जरूरत पड़ गया बोलते हैं, बच्चे भी. वन गर्ल वाज सेइंग, मम्मा मैं डिप्रेशन में जा रही हूँ. कोई जरूरत नहीं है, चुपचाप बैठो. पापा मैं डिप्रेशन में जा रही हूँ, बड़ों के आशीर्वाद लेके जाना. दादी मैं डिप्रेशन में जा रही हूँ, शाम तक आ जाना. Like that, depression is common over here. Mind, and then the doctors, they don't know how to cure also, right? If you read Ramayana and Bhagavatam, you will never have depression, right? And then he's escaping. I know. And then suffering due to the other living entities, right? All the time we have. अरे कश्मीर नहीं गई? All the time, something, at office, some people are, people are envious and pulling you down. Right? Or sometimes Prabhupada writes, of course you are very lucky. If you are lucky, you have a very good understanding spouse, then no problem. Otherwise, all the time fighting. Right? Other day we were going in Delhi. I saw one, writing on a rickshaw. बीवी से बहस, जिंदगी तहस नहस. बीवी से बहस, जिंदगी तहस नहस. I got a new word. What is, I asked, Vishnu was there. ये तहस नहस क्या होता है? तहस नहस. तहस नहस means destroy, complete destroy. इसलिए चुपचाप रहा. Right? If you want to avoid problem in your life, remain silent. Right? What is that? Maunena kalau nasti. Nasti jagrito bhayam. Krishito nasti durbhiksham. Japato nasti patakam. You know this verse? This is a verse from Harivamsha Purana. Note down this verse. Maunam. Once one lady, she went to one Babaji. She went to Babaji. Then said, Babaji, मेरा husband बहुत मारता है, पीटता है, कुछ solution दीजिए. That Babaji said, I will give you one taviz and keep it under your teeth, दांत के पीछे नीचे रखना. तावीज, यूजुअली तावीज पहनते हैं ना. उन्होंने रखी थी, तावीज रखी थी, एक हफ्ता कुछ मारपीट नहीं हुआ। फिर गई, बाबा जी आपका तावीज बहुत अच्छा काम किया। अरे बाबा जी ने बोला तावीज का काम नहीं है, तुम्हारा जुबान बंद करने का, तुम्हारा जुबान बंद करने के वजह फल है ये, मारपीट नहीं हुआ। Right? You want suffering due to the other living entities, you want to avoid. You remain, remain quiet. Like that. It applies to both. Better to remain quiet. हर चीज के लिए जवाब देने का जरूरत नहीं है, right? Or you don't have to justify yourself also. And suffering due to the natural calamities, that is called Adi Daivika Klesha. Right? पहला कौन सा है? आध्यात्मिक क्लेशा, suffering due to the body and the mind. And then next is Adi Bhautik Klesh, suffering due to the other living entities. And then suffering due to the natural calamity. Now it is very very hot. दिल्ली में इतना गर्मी है और बाप रे, 42 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. व्हेन वी 5 मिनट टॉयलेट में नहीं जाके इतना गर्मी हो रहा था. मैं सोच रहा था टॉयलेट में भी एसी लगाना चाहिए. इतना गर्मी था. वी आर वेरी लकी इन मुंबई. अभी ये साल थोड़ा गर्मी है थोड़ा, लेकिन फिर भी इट्स नॉट सो बैड. लाइक एवरी डे आई गो, वेन एवर आई डोंट हैव ए लेक्चर, आई गो ऑन द जुहू बीच. इट्स वेरी वेरी प्लेजेंट वॉकिंग ऑन द बीच. Sometimes it's too cold, for mine, in Canada, minus 40 degrees centigrade, minus 30 degrees centigrade. There is one coldest place, minus 80 degrees centigrade. Right? There is some place, so cold. Which is better, cold or hot? Hot, better. Cold, the bones crack. It's very difficult to tolerate cold. If it is very hot, you don't go out. But very cold, like that. So this tapatraya is there. So in order to avoid this suffering, Krishna has given us scriptures, right? Like what is the second verse of Bhagavatam? Bolo, Shubhangi. Second verse of Bhagavatam. Sujata, come on. Dharma projihita kaito paramo nirmat sharanam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu Shivadam Tapatraya Unmulanam. Right? Tapatraya Unmulanam. Tapatraya Unmulanam means what? Unmulanam means uprooting. So the benediction is given. Anybody who reads Bhagavatam regularly with Shraddha, for them threefold miseries will be uprooted. The suffering is immense. We are we are very very fortunate. But just look at the people who are suffering in Palestine. Right? It seems the number of houses that are destroyed in that war, it will take them 70 years to rebuild all the houses. And Israel is stopping, supplies, aid, right? Like that. Just imagine taking birth as a woman in Afghanistan. You know, Afghanistan, what is happening to women? Just imagine, right? You want to avoid, right? Just imagine taking birth in places like Syria, Ethiopia, Somalia. They are subjected to intense suffering. Just imagine the people in jails. How much they are, there is one Manu Sharma, he was convicted in that. But there is one case, Tanduri. They right? He was saying anybody कितना भी है जेल में जाएगा ना उसका चर्बी निकाल के रखे होता है एकदम ठीक कर देगा बोलते हैं राइट अभी अरविंद केजरीवाल it's so much suffering everywhere, we are very, very fortunate, that every day we are coming and taking darshan of Radha Rasbihari and taking very nice prasad. So we should not complain only. We are very, very fortunate. So there is, then in the hellish planets more suffering. Right? Material world means suffering. So Krishna is out of his causeless mercy gives us the scriptures. Right? Gives us the scriptures. So in previous ages, this is not so easy. Scriptures are not available to everybody. Right? So they were going to Himalayas and they were doing tapasya. They are torturing themselves, all that. For us, we don't have to do anything. Simply take Bhagavatam, Krishna book and read. Right? Take Bhagavatam. Every day you read Bhagavatam. Right? Automatically your threefold miseries will come down. It is so simple. If you read Bhagavatam regularly, then you will develop taste for chanting Hare Krishna. Right? Many people, they attend so many seminars, how to chant nicely and all. There is no need to attend any seminar, Harinam seminars and all. There is only one remedy, one suggestion. Read Bhagavatam every day. That's it. Every day you read Bhagavatam, then you develop taste for chanting Hare Krishna, because one devotee was saying, in second canto, first chapter, there is one verse. Idam Bhagavatam Nama. Anybody knows? Puranam Brahma Samhitam. Adyavasta Dvaparado Dvipur Pitur Dvaipayana Kvachit. Right? So what is it? One Idam Bhagavata Nama Puranam. What is the purpose of Bhagavatam, Glorification of Harinam. Everywhere. Everywhere. Glorification of Harinam. So if you after reading Bhagavatam, if you are not chanting Hare Krishna nicely, that means you have not understood Bhagavatam. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam. Right? Read Bhagavatam every day, then you can chant very nicely. This is my own experience, my own experience. For so many years, I was struggling to chant, to stay awake and chant. And during the chanting, the sleep comes like flood. Sometimes you fall asleep and then you start dreaming also. Then somebody comes, wakes you up, and then you become very angry. Arey, itna acha neend aa raha hai, kyun? Right? But this is my own experience. I'll tell you that after reading Bhagavatam a lot, now I don't get any sleep only. During chanting, I don't feel sleepy. So in this life, I have achieved that this much, chanting without falling asleep. So my only advice to all of you: if you want to chant nicely, read Bhagavatam. So your chanting depends on how much you have read previous day. Okay? So, so these Vedas, Prabhupada is writing in the purport, right? There are Vedas, there are two kinds of people, Brahmanas and there are Parivrajakas. So Brahmanas, they are trained, even now, they are Veda Pathshalas, and then these Vedic mantras, they have, everybody is not supposed to chant Vedic mantras. One has to go to a Brahmana. They are called Shrutis. You know what is meant by Shruti? Shruti means the Brahmana chants the mantras by actions. Like you have seen A.R. Rahman composing music. They do like this, right? Music. Like that, the Brahmanas, they, by their actions, they say, go up, go down, right? You have to learn that meter, right? Actually, if it is given in Vedas, that Falashruti, that anybody who chants, Purusha Shukta prayers, the diabetes will be cured. But you may ask, you have so much diabetes, why are you not chanting? Because you have to chant according to the meter, which I don't know. If you chant otherwise, you will be punished. Right? Om Sahasrasirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishvato Vritva Atyatishtatdashangulam Purushaye Vedagam Sarvam. Like that, you have to learn. And then if I have that mantra Pushpam book is there. Then there are meters, all the line, there are, indications are there. Then on one letter there is a dot, another letter there is a line. So and then they teach, if that line is there, then you have to go, swar upar karna padega. Yeah, like that, all that. So you cannot learn Vedas by reading. You cannot learn, Vedas by reading. Shruti means you have to go to a spiritual master and hear from him and learn the meter and learn the composition and then chant mantras. And it is given in Markandeya Purana that most of the sages, you see some of these devotees chanting, Purusha Shukta prayers. Go and ask them, what is the meaning? What is this? What is the meaning of Sahasrasirsha Purusha? Sahasraksha Sahasrapad. They will not learn. They only, like a parrot, they learn all the meter and all, and they don't know how to chant, explain the meaning of the Purusha Shukta prayer. Like that, there are so many Vedic mantras are there, and you have to practice and all. So the Brahmanas are very expert in chanting those mantras. But there are devotees, Parivrajakacharyas. Then Prabhupada said, some of these foreign devotees, when they are giving class, they cannot pronounce shlokas properly. But Prabhupada said, it doesn't matter. right? It doesn't matter because they know the meaning of the mantra shlokas. Then knowing the meaning of the shloka and explaining. So in this verse, Prabhupada is saying, sometimes the Parivrajakacharyas may not be able to chant Vedic mantras properly, but they know the deeper meaning of all the scriptures. So that is why the Saunakadi Rishis are telling Sutta Goswami that you may not know everything, but you know the itihasas and Puranas and all that. So you please explain. Right? You please explain. Like that. So, there are, what is the, how many of you know what is the definition of Rishi? Many times I told. Anybody can recollect? AC on karo? You know? Rishi. What is the definition of Rishi? No, that is Swami. Huh?
They get their own experience of the Shastra, they read the Shastra, and then with their own experience they are able to do a commentary.
Yeah, very good, very near. Bolo, Sujata? In Ramayana, during Ramkatha, I was telling, what is a Rishi? Vishwamitra Muni. Who, Huh? Who is a Rishi? Huh?
Who does research?
The one who does the reading of the mantras and see the
What is
Chanted mantra. This is the one who chanted mantras of the mantralas.
one who sees the mantra personality.
Mantra Drasta. What is that? Bolo? Mantra Drasta. Mantra Drasta. Drasta means seeing. Right? Every mantra has Nama, Rupa and Yantra.
Mantra drashta or mantra
Drasta. Mantra Drasta. Rishi means, Rishi doesn't belong to any caste or creed. He is above this everything. So Rishi, he does Vishwamangala. It is welfare of all the Vishwa. He does. So Vishwamitra Muni, Gayatri Mantra Drashta. Right? Like that. Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna Mahamantra Drashta. Right? We chant Hare Krishna. Right? We chant Hare Krishna, but we don't see anything. Right? We see only flashback of our previous life. Yantra, Gopal Yantra, Sri Chakra, there is. Right? When we chant, what we see? What we see while chanting? सर हमारा पूरा फ्लैशबैक आगे आ जाता है, क्या क्या किया हमने, फिर क्या करना चाहते हैं, वी इमेजिन, फ्यूचर पास्ट प्रेजेंट एवरीथिंग, राइट, एक्सेप्ट कृष्णा एवरीथिंग एल्स कम्स टू आवर रिमेम्बरेंस, राइट. कभी कभी इतना कितने विचार आ जाते हैं, देन यू हैव टू स्टॉप चैंटिंग, Then when we start chanting, then all those thoughts subside. Yes, sir. So these rishis, Valmiki Muni, Vyasadev, they are all mantra drashtas, rishis. Right? Like there is one, any Telugu person is there? You know, there is one magazine, you know, it used to come, Swati. They used to invite stories, you know, then write stories. You know, once or twice I wrote some, you know, stories, fiction stories, and then sent. Of course, they are rejected. So, when I was working, I used to go to Igatpuri. Anybody has gone to Igatpuri?
Yes.
Huh? It's a very cool place. Then I used to work in Mahindra and Mahindra that time, inspection. I used to work in government, but I used to go for inspection. Then limited hours are there. They had a very beautiful guest house, very nice food they used to serve, you know, and then very nice weather. And then I used to sit and write stories, you know. I attempted, then failed writer, you know. भैया 9 o'clock कुछ प्रसाद अरेंज करो ना. हाँ शंकर को बोलो, he will arrange. Go getter. मैसअप हो गया आज. What is that? Yeah, it's all imagined, you know. Then these people, you know, they imagine so many stories and write, and we are fools, you know, we read and you know all that, you know. But these, you know, they are mantra drastas, you know. Vyasadeva, Valmiki Muni, you know, they were blessed. They were blessed. So when they would close their eyes, you know, Valmiki Muni, Brahmaji blessed him. You know, he did tapasya. He chanted Rama's name for 60,000 years. You know, everything he realized. Mantra drashta. He know the meaning of all the mantras and he know the everything. Then when he would close his eyes, Brahmaji gave him a blessing, benediction, that whenever you meditate, whatever happened, it will appear in your heart, and then you will know what is in their minds also, what they were thinking. Right? Usually we cannot know, right, what others are thinking. But Valmiki Muni, he got this benediction that whoever is involved in Ramayana, you know, he can actually make out what they are thinking, what are their inner thinkings, what is happening, what are they talking among themselves. Everything he knew. Then he wrote. So Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are not kalpanik. You know, they didn't imagine and wrote something. So that is why now the thing is coming. You know, Vyasadeva, you know, is. So we are very, very fortunate that, you know, we have taken birth in the land of Mahabharata, Ramayana, and Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagvatam. So we should not waste our time, you know, doing anything else other than, you know, all of you grahasthas, you know, you do your work, then whenever you get time, you must read Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Ramayana. You know, don't waste your time watching TV and, you know, do anything else, right? Social media, spending time on social media. Kyun? So such a waste of time. And learning, you know, film songs, okay? Right? Such a waste of time, right? You know film songs? So instead of learn Bhagavad Gita verses, it is mentioned that Rajan Samsmritya Samvadam Imam Adbhutam Keshavarjuna Punyam Rishyami Punah Punaha. Right? Tacha sansmritya sansritya. Rupam ati adbhutam hare. Vismayone mahan rajan. Rishyami punah punah. These two verses from, so Prabhupada writes, the meaning of these verses, as I remember more and more the samvadam, the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, I am becoming more and more ecstasy. I am feeling more and more happiness. Right? So, whenever you get time, learn the verses. Right? क्या हुआ?
प्रसाद नहीं पड़ा। He says, बटाटा वड़ा, समोसा। It's 9 o'clock प्रसाद।
Yeah, count करो और arrange. Huh? Yeah, some sweet and take sweet from the kitchen Rajendra. I think they must be having, no? Or take some sweet and then arrange. Huh? Go. Learn, right? Learn Bhagavad Gita verses instead of learning filmy music songs, Bollywood songs. Huh? Yo. Huh? Learn, Bhagavad Gita verses. It is a great experience, I will tell you. Learning the verses changed my life, created revolution in my life, actually. On a regular basis, I learn the verses, Bhagavatam. At the age of 60, I am learning. I wish I had this realization long back. By now I would have learned half of Bhagavatam. Right? Learn particular verses like Shamam Hiranya Paridim Vanamali Barha Dhatu Pravala Natavesham Anuvratamshe Vinayastahastamitrena Dunanam Abjam Karnotpala Lakakapola Mukabjahasam Praya Shuta Priyatamoder Kannapure Yasmin Nimagna Manasasta Atakshirandre Antah Pravesha Ruchiram Parirabhyatap Suchiram Parirabhyatapam Prajnam Yatabhimatayo Vijahur Narendra. This is Brahmana's wives. And then Krishna is saying, Swagatam hi Mahabhaga Asyatam Karvama Kim Manyo Dadrishtato Prapta Upapanna Idam Vimaha Nanvadda Mai Kurvanti Kushala Swarta Darshinaha Ahityaki Avyavahita Bhaktim Atma Priya Yatha. Then Brahmanas are saying, Maivam Vibho Arhati Kaditam Nushamsham Satyam Kurushva Nigamam Tavapada Moolam Prapta Vayam Tulsidamna Padava Srishtam Keshay Nivyoditam Atilanga Samasta Bandhun. This is the pastime of Brahmanas' wives blessed. Right? You learn the verses, then learn the meaning of the verses, and then recollect the verses in your mind. The entire pastime appears in your heart. Lila Smaran ho jata hai. Right? How the Brahmanas' wives came, then how they saw Krishna standing on one hand. Beta, कितने बड़ा पाव लेके आने के लिए कितना चाहिए? Don't want to escape. Right? Krishna is standing with one hand on the shoulder of his friend, and then in one hand he is twirling a lotus flower. Then how he is looking, Shamam Hiranya Paridim Vanamali. Description of Krishna's beauty. Then how the Brahmanas, their wife came and they took Krishna in their eyes and they transferred Krishna into their heart and they embraced Krishna and they gave up the pain of separation, viraha. Then Krishna said, "Oh, please welcome, my dear fortunate ladies. Swagatam hi Mahabhaga." Then what can I do for you? The very fact that you have taken my darshan is the best thing. Like that. Then Brahmanas, now he's saying, Krishna is saying, those who know their welfare, their own welfare, they perform devotional service without deviation and without interruption. And then causeless, ahityaki avyavahita. Like that. Then Brahmanas' wives are saying, no. Then Krishna says, please go back. Then don't be so cruel. Maivam vibho arhati bhavan. Don't speak such cruel words. Make your promise in Bhagavad Gita, Satyam Kurushva Nigamam Tava Padamulam. In Bhagavad Gita you promised Prabhupada rights. Bhagavad Gita. They know Bhagavad Gita also. Gopis, Brahmanas' wives. You promised in Bhagavad Gita that those who come to you, you will never send them back. Now we have come to you. Why are you sending us back to family life? Like that. They speak. All this, Vishnu Chakra wrote a very nice commentary. Then you just remember, Krishna, instead of remembering Shudra Leelas, Mera beta kya kiya, mera beti kya kiya, right? Remember Krishna's pastimes. Right? Suppose if you remember what your son has done, what your daughter has done, what your wife has done, what your husband has done, you get zero benefit. Right? But if you remember Krishna, same pastime every day, you know what happens? You become intoxicated. And sometimes that pastime will appear in your heart. Right? So I am saying this out of my realization, experience. So I advise, whenever you get time, even if you cannot remember the verses, read thoroughly and try to at least recollect all the passages, all the pastime, very thoroughly and in detailed manner. If you are not unable to remember the verses, at least read the pastime many times and remember the pastime and then try to recollect. Like this, all this, some pastimes, Tachitratanda Vigna Fanasahasro Raktam Mukair Guru Brahmanam Bhava Trupabhagna Gatra Smutva Charachara Gurum Purusham Puranam Narayanam Tamaranam Manasa Jagama. This is a verse, beautiful verse from Kaliya Mardan Leela. Just remember this verse and visualize how Krishna is dancing on the hoods of the Kaliya. So, Shivasham Aplacharya, he says that anybody who remembers Krishna's pastime of dancing on the Kaliya's hoods. Kaliya's hoods are compared to our thoughts. How many thoughts we get, na? How many desires we have? So, what did Krishna do? He crushed all the hoods and then subdued. Like that, if you remember Krishna and then you remember this pastime and then pray to Krishna that, my dear Krishna, just like you danced on the hoods of Kaliya, you dance in my heart. And then you put your feet on my mind and crush all my thoughts and desires. And then Krishna will do it. Right? These pastimes are meant for that. That is what is that verse? Etaddi aturchittanam. Bolo. Matra sparshechaya muhu. Bhavasindhu plavodrashto Haricharyanu Varnanam. Right? Those who are suffering from threefold miseries, those who are trying to cross over this Bhava Sindhu, they must recite here, remember, Haricharya. Haricharya, pastimes of the Lord. Right? And it's very easy and it is very pleasurable. That is why Bhakti Moho Pravahatam Tvayi Me Prasango Bhuyad Ananta Mahatam Amala Shayanam Enanja Sulbanam Guruvyasanam Bhavadim Nesye Bhavad Gunakatamrita Panamatta. You know this verse? Santosh? Very good. Say.
Bhakti moho pravata tvaive prasango bhuyatam tamata amara apana.
Very good. You know? Say. Right? Dhruva Maharaj is saying, my dear Lord, let me recite your wonderful qualities, your wonderful pastimes in the association of pure devotees, and let me become intoxicated. Right? Let me become intoxicated. This is what happens if you read Bhagavatam every day, again and again, the same pastime, just like Prabhupada says, just like drinking every day. By drinking every day, you become intoxicated. By reading Bhagavatam every day, you become intoxicated. How many of you want to become intoxicated in Krishna's pastimes? Become like a madman. Sometimes you feel like you have become mad thinking about Krishna's pastimes. Like that. So these scriptures are meant for Prabhupada writes, both the not only we should distribute Vedic this Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam, at the same time we should read these scriptures thoroughly. Prabhupada said, are you studying my books? So then Prabhupada, that this devotee has replied, every day I am reading Prabhupada. No, I am asking, are you studying my books? Right? We must study Prabhupada books very thoroughly, again and again. So my advice is, take a topic and read thoroughly 2-3 times. Sometimes when you are reading, you don't notice, you don't make, you don't so much remember or realize. Many times I have read this chapter. Prahlad Maharaj teaches to his classmates. Like day before yesterday, again I was reading same chapter. Then I got a new point. Prabhupada writes that Prahlad Maharaj says the relation between the Jiva and Paramatma, Achyuta, he is perfect and permanent. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that just like it is not very difficult for a father and son to become intimate, to have intimate relationship. In the same way, it is not very difficult to become have intimate relationship with Krishna, because Prabhupada writes that the relationship between Krishna and the living entity is perfect and only thing that is real. The relation between among people is not perfect, and it is not it is not real also. Right? It can be broken. But the relationship between Krishna and the living entity is real. And then, so this point, many times I have read, but I am not, this time I got it. I know. Sometimes, when we read again and again, then when you understand, then you relish it. Right? Other day I was reading Lord Rishabdev's teachings. So I find it very relishing. Wow, so many things, many new things I have understood from that chapter. Like that, we have to read thoroughly and, regularly and thoroughly and again, same chapter. Right? Like that. So, these scriptures, that is why Lord Macaulay wrote a report to, he was appointed as Viceroy. He wrote a report to the Queen or a King, that time Queen or King? King George, So he wrote that I toured India all over. I found out one thing. It is very, very difficult to find debauchees, thieves, corrupt people in India. They are very, very pure and honest. And the reason, all Indians, they are culturally very strong, cultured people, very clean and free from thievery, corruption, vyabhichar, because they are reading Ramayana and Mahabharata every day. Previously there are no movies, in Andhra they have, Harikatha, Burakatha, they used to have these dramas on Ramayana and Mahabharata. People used to enjoy. Right? Other day I was giving Bhagvatam class. Anybody heard? I was describing Pindaraka Kshetra pastime. Have you heard any time? Anybody? You heard? Other day I gave Bhagavatam class. So you can hear. So very clear, from Harivamsh Purana, I narrated the entire pastime of Pindaraka Kshetra. Last Bhagavatam class you can hear. So in that, the Apsaras, they came from Swargaloka, and then for the pleasure of Krishna and Balaram, they were actually enacting all the pastimes of Krishna. And then Balaram is enjoying like anything. Through Bharatanatyam, they are enacting all the pastimes, all the Apsaras. Then Arjuna also started dancing. He is like that. Then meanwhile, Krishna called Narad Muni. Right? Narad Muni not only expert in music, he is expert in mimicry also. He was doing mimicry and everybody is enjoying. Like that. So all Krishna, how Krishna is speaking, Narad Muni is imitating. Narad Muni is, Krishna is enjoying. I speak like this. Like that. So, then he suggested, if you want to win over India, we have to destroy their faith in Ramayana and Mahabharata. And they had hired two rascals. One is Max Muller, another is H.G. Wilson. H.G. Wilson, he translated Vishnu Purana into English. Then Max Muller translated Vedas into English. Then they were successful. Then Prabhupada said, when he was traveling for chemical day ointment and all that, so he saw Prabhupada said in India nobody was addicted to drinking tea. Britishers introduced drinking tea to all the people in India by distributing free of cost tea. They used to distribute tea, and coffee in the marketplaces to free of cost to all Indians. And then Indians get addicted to tea and coffee. And then Prabhupada, this Hira Mandi karke prostitutes, story of prostitutes. So Prabhupada wrote this. There is one conversation that is going on because these Britishers brought this illicit sex to India, and all these jamindars, they were going to these prostitutes. क्या बोलते हैं मुजरा, हाँ क्या बोल मुजरा Prabhupada, right? So all these jamindars, they were going to these mujras and they are keeping this, these Britishers have taught them. Drinking tea and then drinking alcohol and then these mujras. Then that's how, Prabhupada writes, they destroyed our Vedic culture. Of course, later on Max Muller regretted, for doing what he did, because now they are realizing, Germans and all, they study Vedas and they are getting their science, from Vedas. But then, Prabhupada said, 3 Bengalis have destroyed our Vedic culture. And 1 Bengali saving our Vedic culture. Ramakrishna, Paramahamsa, Vivekananda and Raja Ram Mohan Rai. Right? They have destroyed our Vedic culture. And who is that Bengali? Srila Prabhupada. Aurobindo? Bengali? Is Bengali? I don't think. I don't know. I don't think.
He was born in Bengal, but he was
So very interesting, if you get a time, Prabhupada, you read Conversations of Prabhupada. Right? Many interesting things he tells in Conversations. Like that. He or read Prabhupada lectures. Very interesting. Instead of hearing to Prabhupada lecture, read them. You will get more insights. You can underline and then learn and all that stuff. Oh, Prashad mila kya? Very good. Anyway, that is that is it. Learn. So if you want to chant also very nicely, you must Prabhupada writes in Bhagvatam, in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, 7th chapter, that in order to chant very nicely, you must become addicted to reading Bhagavatam. Right? So don't come to me, oh Prabhuji, I am falling asleep while chanting. How to improve quality of chanting? Right? Don't come to me this with question. I given you a solution. If you want to chant nicely, read Bhagavatam. So we are very, very fortunate. Shankar Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Thank you very much. Anybody has any questions? Yeah.
You said that you should learn the sloks. So what is the trick and the solution for recalling those sloks? Because what I have tried many times and I have learned it, but I have always forget.
See, Vyakarana Sutra, it is said, even if a big Pandit also, unless you practice every day, you will forget. So on a regular basis, you must practice them. I've learnt many verses, but every day, almost every alternate day or every third day, I recollect them. So Prabhupada said, only by practice you can learn. Abhyasa.
There is one more difficulty, the style, the way you say it. It's all something like music. That way, we are not able to say it or speak those slokas. How to do it?
When it's just like, you learn filmy music by hearing, right? You hear them singing, like that you hear people singing these verses, then you learn. Meter, you have to learn that meter. Chandas bolte hain usko. Anybody has any questions?
Reflections.
Everybody should recollect one point and don't repeat. Start Vijay Khandelwal. Wait. Your turn will come. You have to tell one point you learnt today. It's called reflection.
Read Bhagvatam every day.
अरे से क्या इतना सोच रहे हैं?
In fact, I want to know those two mantras. What I have to say while taking bath.
Okay, you will get it. You are in the group?
Yeah.
RRD group?
RRD.
It will come. Put it on the yeah. Say one point.
So that is the point I want to learn.
No, that is question. One point that you learned today. Take back message. Take home message.
Right? Yeah, you should read Bhagvatam every day.
Yeah, Dilip. अरे इतना ये 1.5 घंटा मैंने क्लास दिया. हाँ.
Chant Hare Krishna mantra every day.
Nah.
If you cannot go to Ganga in every day,
हाँ.
at least say 7 times Ganga.
हाँ, ऐसा बोलना चाहिए. हाँ बोलो शिवसागर.
By keeping maunam, we can avoid many problems.
हाँ. बीवी से बहस. जिंदगी तहस नहस. हाँ वासु.
Srila Prabhupada says when a devotee stands in front of God,
हाँ.
deity unknowingly, devotee gets liberated.
Very good. See, ऐसा
More fortunate than the sadhus in Himalayas.
हाँ. What is it? Say loudly.
If we read Krishna book every day, Krishna becomes very pleased. He says that yeah, his devotee is interested.
Yeah, he's trying to understand me. Then he reveals himself. बोलो मिथुन. हाँ.
Atma is very dear to Krishna, so Krishna has come to associate with us.
Yeah, very good.
If you remember that we are the eternal servant of Krishna, then we can never enter this one.
हाँ. हाँ. What are the threefold miseries? Shh. Hey.
Adhyatmic, it is the body and mind. Adi Bhautik, which is due to other living beings. Adi Daivika, which is due to natural phenomena.
Yeah. How to come out of it?
One who reads Bhagavatam regularly.
Right? By reading Bhagavatam, क्या होता है? Threefold miseries are uprooted. Yeah. बोलो संतोष. बोलो संतोष. हाँ.
Means Mona Drashta.
What is that? मंत्र. बोलो पवार जी.
Importance of doing puja.
हाँ, very good. हाँ, बोलो.
Atma is covered by vitamins.
Yeah. संतोष. अरे बात मत करो आप लोग, बोलो विद्या.
Brahmana wives, Shukana here, Shamu, Hiranya, this Krishna's beauty description.
हाँ.
I have to behead this and meditate on it.
Yes, yeah. बोलो सपना जी.
Atma is covered by eight elements. Earth, water, fire, couch, fire, ether.
हाँ बोलो सुजाता.
Bring Ati, the eight
अरे अब दूसरा एक पॉइंट बताओ. बोलो कृता.
If you read Bhagvatam daily, you will do quality chanting.
हाँ.
Ganga in Mayapur is powerful and Yamuna in Vrindavan.
हाँ वेरी गुड. बोलो निधि. हाँ सुजाता बोलो. अरे 1.5 घंटा क्लास दिया मैंने, इतना सारा ब्ला ब्ला किया मैंने. हाँ निधि बोलो. 7 point.
We should be silent. 3 vectors destroy the Vedas and 1 vector saves life.
Ah, you can say 1 point.
3 vectors and silent.
Huh?
Avoid fighting and all.
Ah, by remaining silent, you can avoid fighting.
Instead of by writing the Bhagavatam songs,
Ah,
by write the verses of Bhagavatam.
yeah, very good. What happens if you read by heart Bhagavad Gita verses? Prabhupada writes, your happiness increases more and more. The more you remember Krishna Bhagavad Gita verses, the more your happiness will increase. Huh? बोलो. आप बोलेंगे? हाँ.
अगर हम साफ करने से पहले अगर हम भगवद गीता पढ़ते हैं तो हमारा
Yeah.
Aryahoots are like thoughts.
Ah.
So when Krishna touched the thoughts, so we have to remember this past.
क्या सुजाता ये रिमेम्बर? हाँ.
by remembering Krishna's pastime, one day the Krishna's pastime will be revealed in our heart.
हाँ. भैरवी माता जी. हाँ. हल्का.
For effective chanting, we have to be Bhagavatam.
We can enjoy the material, but we can forget that we are innocent.
Yeah.
We should request Krishna to dance in our heart.
हाँ. भारती.
She means Krishna must be Krishna. She will see the mantra as the form.
Prabhupada is Hare Krishna.
हाँ. बोलो.
Our chanting depends on how we have read the Bhagavatam the previous day.
Yeah.
बंद रखोगे उतना अच्छा रहेगा.
हाँ.
जुबान को कंट्रोल में करोगे उतना अच्छा रहेगा.
हाँ.
मुझे टीवी से जहर
तावीज रख देने का. जुबान नहीं चलाने का. हाँ. हाँ. हाँ.
Yamuna is more, 1,000 times more than powerful in Vrindavan.
Then Ganga. Yeah.
Brahmana's wife said to Krishna that why you are sending us.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, Mataji?
When we read the Bhagavatam, we develop our relationship with Lord Krishna. We realize this is the perfect real.
Yeah. You want to say, Nidhi? कुछ याद आया? Huh? You told? Any other point? What? Oh, Giridhar Madhav is there.
Significance of offering arti. We offer those items like the fragrance and cloth, water, fire. So by offering this, slowly our soul will gets uncovered by the false ego.
Yeah. बोलो गिरिधर माधव.
So the relation between Jiva and Krishna is real and perfect.
Yeah.
The relation between Jiva is not real, neither real nor.
Very good.
So this is my question about Bhagavatam. We can take the Bhagavatam and read from anywhere, or is it necessary to start from one, particularly a secret?
Prabhupada said systematically study. So first canto onwards, better to study. First and second cantos, you should study so thoroughly. Prabhupada actually said, he had a doubt that he may not be able to complete Bhagavatam before he leaves this body. So Prabhupada actually put whatever is to be known, first and second cantos. So you must read first and second canto very thoroughly.
Ramayana is not
Yeah. Very good. Akash? कोठारी रह गया. हाँ.
Prabhu, 3 Nadis has spoiled the Vedic culture. One by calling
हो गया. Yeah.
If we read Krishna book every day, we will get intoxicated.
हाँ, बोलो आकाश. What else?
While taking bath, we can chant the Ganga sometimes.
Okay, thank you. कीर्तन करेंगे? हाँ?